Praise the Lord, everyone. Welcome to Sunday Morning Christian Education. My name is Sister Teraie Deloach. I attend Greater Bethlehem Temple Apostolic Church located on 4781 Hamilton Avenue in Cincinnati, Ohio, where Bishop James Chapman is the pastor. Today's lesson is titled Trials and Denials. And the golden text reads, Jesus said, I am, and ye shall see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power and coming in the clouds of heaven. That's from Mark 14, verse 62. And the lesson text comes from the book of John, chapter 18, verses 15 through 27. The title of today's lesson is Trials and Denials. In last week's lesson, Jesus was being arrested because of Judas' betrayal. Even though it happened the way it did, the scriptures had to be fulfilled. And as I stated before, Jesus is an all-seeing and all-knowing God. He knew what was going to happen. Jesus told and knew what Judas was doing. Let me say that again. Jesus told and knew what Judas was doing. So in today's lesson, it's also another betrayal that occurs by another disciple. This betrayal is a little different than Judas, but still was wrong. It was denial. This disciple was Peter. In the book of Matthew, Peter told Jesus, even if I have to die with you, I will never disown you. And all the other disciples said the same. This was after Jesus told Peter at the Last Supper he would deny him 3 times before the rooster crows. Such like in Judas' situation, Jesus knew what Peter would do. So as Jesus was being taken away, the disciples scattered. But the Bible mentions 2 disciples that followed Jesus. Peter followed at a distance. One disciple was known by the high priest, so he was able to get into the palace. Peter and John was close. Some believe the other disciple was John. John saw Peter outside the palace door and went for him. The gatekeeper, who was a woman, asked Peter, Art not thou also one of the man's disciples? Peter replied, I am not. That was the first time Peter denied Christ. The second time Peter denied Christ, people were gathered by a fire, keeping warm because it was cold outside. Peter was hiding in the mist, but someone asked him again, Art not thou also one of his disciples? Peter a second time responded, I am not. Peter denied Christ again for the second time. Later, also a relative of the soldier who Peter cut his ear off in the Garden of Gethsemane, he asked Peter, Did not I see thee in the garden with him? It was dark. The man wasn't sure. But for the 3rd time, Peter denied Christ. This time, Peter started swearing and cussing. Now, during this time, the authorities was moving Jesus from Ananias to Caiaphas. Peter saw Jesus eye to eye. During that 3rd denial, and Peter immediately remembered what Jesus told him. He wept bitterly. People will tell you or even promise you some things. They may have good intentions, but people and circumstances change. They will fail you. They are not dependable. God will never change. If he tells you he would do something, I guarantee you he will do it. It may not happen when he thinks it should happen, but it will. But he will do it. And it will happen in his timing. He would always come through. God is not a man. He will never lie. You have to have a relationship with God. No matter what people think of you, He is the only guaranteed one. At the end of the day, He'll stay closer to you than a brother, a sister, a mother, and a father. People will fail. Jesus will not. He knows how the world operates. Been there, done that. He can say that. In John 16:33, it says, "These things I have spoken unto you, that in me you may have peace. In the world ye shall have tribulation. But be of good cheer. I have overcome the world." He knows how cruel the world is. He knows how fickle people are. He knows how the devil is looking for whom he can use and sift as wheat. He knows about the wicked devices Satan uses. In 1 John 4:4, it says, "But greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world." So always remember, Jesus is always on your side, and He is always there. He is not a sometime person, being one way one day and being another day. That's not how Jesus operates. When He said He's going to do something, He will do it. He will be there all the time for you. You just have to have a relationship with Him in order to get to know Him. I hope I have put something on your mind. Now have a blessed day. Goodbye until next time.